unannounced and bombed Iran and left. They didn't warn Iran. Targeted those nuclear installations and bombed and left. They did not warn Iran were coming. That's war strategy all over the world. They don't tell we're coming. You realize when they've already left and they have done their business. As Trump was saying, our aircrafts are outside of the Iranian airspace. We're out of that place already. You leave the Iranians still reeling. They don't know what happened. Who came, who did what? That's war strategy, Pipita. And this is war strategy. Why would you warn your enemy that you're coming and expect to prevail? Like how? In which war is that? That I'm coming tomorrow, I'm coming next week, I'm coming on Monday with this hour. How are you going to prevail? Pipita, you cannot. I can guarantee it. You're not going to prevail. Because there's no war that has been prosecuted like that, where you lay open your strategy, where you warn your adversary, your enemy. It's always you catch your adversary, your enemy, unawares, flat-footed. That is it. Flat-footed. They don't know what to do. They don't have enough ammunition. They don't have enough troops to fight back. They didn't expect. So, Pipita, I think we have to be aware of that, even with our exuberance. We have to be aware of that because it's imperative to appreciate the gravity of the things we do. You know, the gravity. It's important so that we don't get surprised at the response or whatever prevails subsequently. Removing a sitting government anywhere in the world is tough business, and especially in Africa. Tough business. If people would kill you for just protesting on the streets over water or over bad roads, or students protesting because there's no electricity, these are very mundane things. We don't have electricity, you go to the streets as a student, you go back to your hostels, you've lost 1 or 2 students. Or a bad road, you go to the streets to protest, you go back to your homes, you are less by 2, 3 people. Now, extrapolate from there. What would happen if you are to dare these people at their seat of government? Just extrapolate. Because people lose lives over mundane things, very innocuous things, where they would just protest and go back home. And then you say, okay, you go and fix that road. You go and look into that university. What's happening with electricity? Fix that electricity. What's happening with water here? Go and fix that water thing. But people lose lives over those things. What about daring these people at their seat of government, Pipita? What about it? What about it? No, this is not fear. It's not fear. It's a very realistic way of looking at your fight, at your war. What are your chances? What are your weaknesses? What are the strengths of the opponent? What are the weaknesses of the opponent? That's war strategy. That's what you do. War strategy. So US did some war strategy and realized, no, Iran cannot detect our aircrafts, cannot shoot our aircrafts. We can get in and get out. They did it. They did it. If you cannot marshal that kind of firepower, you don't dare your adversary. You don't. Because we don't want martyrs. We don't want martyrs. People must be alive to see a Kenya that works. I mean, we have lost so many people in the past. We have, and it's like nothing changes. So losing more people is not like things will change. We've lost so many people in Kenya over struggles to emancipate this country from all these problems we're talking about. Many people, those people Kaluma is talking about, that's part of our history. You can say, no, he's very enthusiastic, but he's factually correct that we've lost so many people in the past. And life has just continued. We don't even have any monuments. We don't have plaques. We don't have even a day to commemorate those people. We don't. We don't have a day that we just pause and commemorate. We don't have it. What does it mean? We've just moved on. What does that tell you? It tells you even tomorrow, if people were to be taken out by the state, they'll just continue with the life. People just proceed. Why? Because human life is so cheap in Kenya, Pipita. So cheap. Pipita is a yield. If you are to go to the streets, Pipita, make sure you are on the streets for a cause you believe in. A cause. Not because a politician has incited you, not because you think there's a politician you love who will stand a chance of taking over power. No, because I believe in a particular cause. That's what's driving me. Not some politician's cause. Not some politicians has told me, no, let get to the streets. No, where are you? Because when we get to the streets, Pipita, these politicians are nowhere to be seen. They only crawl out to cash in on the mayhem and bloodbath of Kenyans. Cash in. No, there are so many young people have been killed. We need a power sharing government. That's how they will talk. They talk like that. Power sharing government, is that what people are fighting for? Yeah. Now the country is highly divided. We have lost so many people. This government must be a power sharing government. We must create more positions for opposition politicians to come in. That is how they respond, Pipita. It's not new. They respond like that. Yes, they're predictable. You won't see them on the front line. They are nowhere to be seen. They watch from the TV like everybody else. And then when things go south and they realize that the waters have quietened, the fires have quietened, they're only ashes and skeletons and bloodbath. Now they come out, they want to cash in that bloodbath and skeletons. What do you deserve? I deserve the position of Prime Minister. This is the amount of blood that was spilled. What do you deserve? I deserve the position of Deputy Prime Minister. This is the amount of blood that was spilled. What do you deserve? Let's create another position of second vice president or deputy president. This is the amount of blood that was. Oh, so when you look back, what was that fight all about? What was it? We must watch out that we are not doing anybody's bidding. This cause is your cause, that other person's cause. It's not anybody's cause. There, then, yeah, we are convicted. But in the absence of that, these people will cash in on your misery and the other person's misery because they have done it in the past. They will do it today, they will do it tomorrow. They are the same people. They have not changed. So these are things to mull over. We just mull over these things so that we understand what are the undercurrents, what are the challenges, what is the struggle like. If we don't appreciate these things, we get caught off guard in the aftermath. It's not bloggers who stopped people from marching to State House last year. It is these activists. Just call them who they are. These so-called leading activists. Just call them who they are. Not bloggers. They are the same people. So last year they told you State House is a protected area. What is it like now? Today, what is it like? No, last year they were tweeting all over the place. No, don't march to State House. It's a protected area. When people were charged. Today, is it a protected area or it's not? The deceit I'm talking about, Pipita, which if you are not so careful, you get caught up in that kind of duplicity. And when you get hurt, you realize, no, how you wish you knew better. So it was a protected area then. What is it like now? I yield to it.
Thank you, Western, for that. I see Olwande ameinua mkono juu. Is that a rebuttal, Olwande?
Mimi ndo nilikuwa nimeinua kwanza.
Haya, tuanze na binadamu alafu tuende kwa Olwande.
Okay, mine is just to echo the last speaker. He has spoken boldly and very accurate. If just to add some more like of the examples, I think the best example of citizens who marched, like the best examples, I think, to this date, of the citizens marched to State House, and they were even drinking tea. They were even swimming in the swimming pool. Was in Sri Lanka when they marched to State House, and they checked where their president actually went to exile to another country. So that's true. I mean, you never know what happened. That march on the streets can actually make someone like grow paranoid and just decide to take off. So, but and what I just wanted to clarify, I don't know the other guy who came out. I mean, who just spoke right now. I don't know his name, but let me call him good citizen. I'm a patriot. So he mentioned about uprooting them. Is it this government institutions? Let me just call them institutions, to uproot these institutions. But you need also to understand that institutions can never come up without a. I think that is one thing that I spoke about last week, Peter, if maybe you remember. I mentioned about a system. A system can never run. An institution can never run without a system. It's like a car running without gas or petrol. It can never. So these things actually is the one which fuels these institutions. And the institutions themselves, the way they have been modified, or rather the way they were modified by the colonialists. He mentioned about Tanzania. They decided to dismantle all that the military system and start all over again. If this thing happened in Kenya, if Kenyatta, who was the biggest sellout, I will call him the biggest sellout Kenya has ever had, because he sold the Mau Mau, took all the credit, and labeled himself labeled himself as the founding father, which maybe was only the father of Uhuru and the rest of the family. I don't consider him as my father in any way, because he was just a traitor. Anyway, that's a story of another day. But what I'm trying to say is, if these systems we decided to dismantle, and we said we do not want it. We want a system going up. Aingekuanga Kenya ingekuanga the way. Leaders
Your mic Binadam.
never implicates them any kind of scandal. Never
Binadam, your network.
Okay, I'll drop and then come.
Your network has an issue, Bwana Binadam. Aya, while you're at it, Olwande.
Thank you so much. I think he has a network issue, but I really wanted to respond to some of those things that I heard Weston saying. And number one, I want to say this categorically. It might be true that whatever Peter Kaluma was saying is factual based, but I don't think it's necessary to tell us that right now. Because if these are the people who have been in government, what stopped them from demanding for justice for all those people who were killed during those particular times? And you have seen these same people handshaking with the same oppressors. Then you want to convince us that is factual based. I think if we are to view things factually, I don't think only one community died during those protests. I believe several other people also were killed. from different tribes. And I want to say this categorically. Before you hate on a tribe, think of yourself first before thinking of a political party or a politician. Where do you pay rent? Do you pay rent to a member of your community? Do you buy from a member of your community? Do you send your children to school from your community? And the answer is no. We all need each other as citizens of Kenya. Everybody has a role to play, and each and every individual is an authentic citizen of Kenya and should be heard and should be protected by the rule of law. Now, Western, I don't know if you've been in any mandamanos. Have you been in any mandamanos before? Have you been there? Yes or no? Okay, I'll leave that to you. But I want to say this categorically. If you've never gone to those mandamanos, stop even talking. Just keep quiet. We don't even need your opinion. If you have never gone to any mandamano and you don't know the cause you're fighting for, keep quiet. I'll rather you just keep your opinion to yourself. And this is why I'm saying this, Pipita. First of all, removing Ruto from power, it is difficult, yes, but not impossible. I want us to underline that word. So, looking at it, for sure, to be honest, nobody hates Ruto. I personally, I don't hate Ruto. I don't hate the government. I just hate how the government works. The government can only work for you if the systems are working, and all systems. I want to see a scenario when I go to the hospital, I can be treated comfortably. Nobody is dying because of negligence, lack of drugs, and etc. When I go to schools, I want to see a situation whereby the children are educated and have quality of education. When I go out, I want to see roads maintained and well structured, because roads is the beginning of infrastructure. If I go to the government parastatals, I want to be served as a citizen of Kenya with a corruption-free environment. And honestly speaking, right now, we don't have that. So if you're a Kenyan right now and you still don't know what you're fighting for, then I think you are one of the people who are a problem in this country. If honestly speaking, you still don't know why people are going to the street, then you have no business being in Kenya. And I want to say this categorically, as I said before, that we cannot be stressed by over 700 people who feel that they have stolen from the government and their stomachs are full, that they don't want to follow the rule of law and they don't want to listen to the people. And let me tell you, you cannot lead yourself. Even if you are the president, you need people to lead. And that is why you saw the people of Bangladesh, when they said, no, enough is enough, their prime minister had to flee because he lost grip with the people. And that is what President William Ruto has done. He has lost grip with the people. This is a president that cannot measure words that are coming out of his mouth. He talks carelessly. His advisors talks carelessly. His spokesperson talks carelessly. And if you are here and you looked at what Mwaura said today, that is when you will know that this government is not careless, is careless. You cannot talk at people. You have to speak to people. And I cannot refuse that Uhuru Kenyatta killed people in 2017. Who doesn't know? He again killed people in 2010, 2011. Who doesn't know? We know all those things. But when worse came to worse, he would say, fellow Kenyans, Let us do the ABCD. But we cannot have a chest-thumping president. Then you tell us that you don't know where you are going to the streets, and you are threatening us with death. Who will not die? Even the president himself, there is a time that will reach and he will die. Every one of us will die in this country and leave the next generation to lead their lives. But the question I want to pose to each and every person in this platform, what Kenya are you going to leave to your children? And I can tell you, Pipita, for free, that even some of our parents who made money in Kibaki's time, right now they are penniless. Because this government does not care. And they don't care whether they want to create more jobs for the people or not. The only thing they are concerned with is PR and propaganda. We have a president who cannot sit in an office and work for Kenyans. We have a tourist as a president, roaming from one county to another when he's pointed out for some of his mistakes he's doing. So let us look at real issues instead of spreading fear. And I know some of you say that you are not spreading fear, but I'm sorry to say that is what you are doing. State House belongs to the people of Kenya. And Article 1 of the Constitution of Kenya says categorically that Kenya, the voice of the people is what is paramount. And if we have a president who cannot listen to the voice of the people, for crying out loud, Pipita, if I may ask, if we look at even what happened to Ojwang, in any work environment, including these government jobs that we do, when you are caught doing a wrong thing, the first thing you will do, they will give you a suspension letter that keeps you out of the job until investigations are done and people are sure and certain that actually you did not do anything wrong. Then you come back. It can even last 2 years when they're still investigating you. So how is this Langat special that they cannot step aside? And fine, you might say that some of these things that Kaluma was saying yesterday are factual. Maybe they are. And some of them, I agree, are true. But surely, how can you claim that the police force is not under you while you are the one who appointed the CS of Interior in that docket? How can you claim that those people are not under you? And this Interior Cabinet Secretary can receive orders from you as the president. Let us not joke with some of these things. Because as much as we want to forget and as much as we want to sugarcoat things, but the truth is Kenya is heading to the wrong direction. If we look at the number of corruption, if we look at how the business people who are money laundering, in fact, if some of you don't read newspapers, I urge you to buy these newspapers, because some of these news, you will not get them on social media, but you can get them in the newspapers. If you read those newspapers, it is very clear. Since Ruto got into power, the rate of money laundering has increased by 75%. Then why do you want to leave your country to such kind of people? If Ruto feels he cannot lead us the way we want, and as I said before, if these politicians don't want to do what Kenyans want, and because we don't have money to go to other countries and they have the money, they should pack and go. Nobody's forcing them to live in this country. So if you are there and you don't know why people are going to the streets on that from Wednesday, then I think you should just sit down, look for the news of what have been happening ever before, and ask yourself, if that is the country you want to leave to your children, if that is the country you want to leave to your children's children, and ask yourself, by that time, what will Kenya be? We will be worse than Zimbabwe. So I leave that to you, because William Ruto is not someone who can be removed from power by a ballot. And he has said that categorically so many times. He has said it. So what can remove Ruto from the power? It is the streets. It is either he listens or packs and go. Those are the only two things we can be fighting for right now. So I want to urge the people of Kenya, fellow Kenyans, I think it is time. It is time for us to reclaim our country. If at all these people cannot listen to us, they have no business serving us. If we have a parliament who only listens to the executive, and yet we have three arms of government, we have the executive, we have the judiciary, and we have the parliament. And
No, I'm saying we have to keep our submissions under 5 minutes for those who are rebattling, so that we don't lose the chain of conversation. We have people like the Diamond who are not spoken.
Let's continue.
Diamond. Diamond, okay, I hope you're doing amazing. Talk to us. Okay, Luca.
Thank you, Pipita. I think I want to echo the last speaker, because I'm the one who earlier on said that William Ruto has had 12 full months to rectify the situation. But these guys decided not to listen. We don't have another option. I personally do not like this idea of going to the streets and all that, I don't like smelling and taking in tear gas. I don't like seeing people being brains splattered on the road and all that. I don't like any of these things. But it's the only option that is remaining. William Ruto is willingly deciding not to listen. This guy came on this spaces on X. I was there. This is not something that is being reported to me, that, Ruto came to the spaces and all this and this happened. No, I was there and I listened. I listened as people told him openly that you need to remove so and so from the government because of this and these reasons. And he promised he is going to do that. I was there. I was in that space. He promised that he is going to remove them from the government. But then, after a few days, again, they were given different dockets. And as you can see, these individuals have gone ahead from their ministries, there have been problems and problems. Yeah, it can be seen. One of those individuals that was we were complaining about is in the ministry that has led to the death of Ojwang. That is one of the individuals. So we've really been complaining. We don't know which other avenue are we going to use for William Ruto to listen. I used to think I am of the idea that leadership should change through the ballot, but this is not even happening in our country. It's like in this country there is during the elections there are some people are just coronated and they take over power and we continue that way. The only elections which we had didn't have any issues in my lifetime is the 2002 election. But thereafter, there have been issues, ballot stuffing, 2007, BVR not working. 2017, we had this thing of Cambridge Analytica. We are forever having issues in each and every election. So it's like elections are not working in this country. And once someone gets in there, like now we have William Ruto is not listening. So what do? The streets are the only option. That's the only option that the constitution has given us. It's a sad route for us to take, because I know there will be bad things happening, but at least I hope it's going to bring the change. So I'm sure William Ruto, even these things that you are discussing here, they somehow gets to him. But why has he decided not to listen? Can he at least come out and tell us, I decided not to listen to you because of reason A, B, and C? At least that is going to maybe give us the reasons on how to calm down. But this guy has decided never to listen. And it's very, very unfortunate. So I really feel for my country. I feel for my country that we are going in this route. I hope even at this moment someone can go and talk to him, because the mood of the country is not good. I've been listening to the way people are talking around. It's not good. So I hope change comes. Yeah, thank you, Pipita.
All right. Thank you, Wanaluka Matoke. Ladies and gentlemen, Home Run with PP is supported by you, the listener. So if you like what you're doing, go into that tip line here to 0721948229 and drop your support. That is how we keep the lights running on this side of the studio. Now, Western, I'm going to call you in 5 minutes, Western. Then we can go to Kibunja.
Peter, you see, it's imperative to focus on the substance of what a person says. Struggles should never be personalized. Struggles are bigger than individuals. So if I'm in a struggle and you're not there, I'm not bigger than you. I'm not. Or I'm not like I don't have a larger than life. Space in that revolution. So let's stop personalizing these things. We personalize things a lot in Kenya. So whether I've been on the streets or not, it's beside the point. It's about the issues in question. So the response would be this, without going into so many stories. We know the gravity of the work at hand. We are cut out for it. That's enough. Many other stories is preaching to the converted. I do understand those things. It's not materially important. About consciousness, yes. A mob of people, it doesn't mean that every other person in that mob is reading from the same script. It's not true that a mob of people is homogeneous. No. Even revolutions do have counter-revolutionaries. It's normal. They do. They do have joyriders. They do have opportunists. All sorts of people are there. Otherwise, why would there be a word counter-revolutionary, which goes against the revolution? So it's important to appreciate the logic of what the person is saying, as opposed to completely misreading what the person is saying. I'm not discouraging anyone from going to the streets. Why would I do it? It's not fear. If soldiers were to sit and the general tells them that this is the danger we face, but this is how we are supposed to neutralize that danger, is that general infusing fear in his troops? He's not. He's not doing it. I know what it means by infusing fear and hopelessness, taken to mean the person says something that is not consistent with what I hold, which is not the way to look at life. In a political environment, people differ, and that should be welcomed. That's why it's a political space. Politics without contestation, differences, dissent is not politics. It's a cult. That's not politics. I think we cannot put this home well enough. It's not politics. Where people don't differ, that's a cult. Even in the revolution, they differ. Revolutionaries differ. Foot soldiers can differ with the general on how they're prosecuting their agenda. And it doesn't mean they're enemies. They're just trying to come up with a more appropriate way of winning the war. So it's not like somebody does not appreciate the issues in question. We've talked about these things ad nauseum. We can't go back there. So, but let's desist from personalizing things. It's not helpful. It's not helpful. Pipita, you can differ with me, and I will appreciate that I hadn't looked at that issue from that perspective. But if I'm enthusiastic, I can continue being enthusiastic. But let me not be enthusiastic and expect every other person to approve my enthusiasm. And anybody who does and he doesn't appreciate what's going on, that's not how to read these things. It's not. We're all invested in Kenya. Well, I am. And I don't have to prove to anybody that I am. I don't owe anyone an explanation. I am invested in the betterment of Kenya. But I'm also aware that there's need for strategy, there's need for critical thinking, because Tunisia is under a dictatorship, and this is where the Arab Spring started. They have a dictator for a president, or is it a prime minister? A dictator. He's completely proscribed the constitution. But they went to the streets and deposed the person who was there before, didn't they? They did. In Egypt, they deposed whoever is there. They have a military dictator now, in as much as he's moving as a civilian. He's an army man. So the government is still in the hands of the army, just as it was under Mubarak. Libya is under chaos, and they went into the streets to remove Gaddafi, who was also autocratic. So what is this notion that we completely are oblivious, impervious to what people have done elsewhere, as if what we're doing is like we are inventing the wheel? We are not inventing the wheel. We are not. This wheel has been invented years ago. I mean, let's listen, learn to listen, as opposed to, being so much engrossed in our sense of self-righteousness. I don't think that's how to prosecute revolutions. Revolutionaries are open-minded people, if you were to ask me, very open-minded, because they know that they don't have a monopoly of ideas. They may have an idea, but somebody else has got a better idea. So they welcome that idea. So don't mistake people who raise critical questions to be apologists of the status quo. That's not how to read these things. I'm just saying, Peter, I don't gain anything out of Kenyans being killed on the streets, and I'm not apologetic about this. I'm not. If you have taken your son to university and that is your son you are relying on and they get shot dead, the government doesn't even compensate you, plunged into poverty. Well, what do I gain out of that? I don't gain out of that. So if there's a way this parent, son or daughter can leave, I mean, why wouldn't I support that? But does that mean I'm infusing fear into the crowd? I'm not. I'm not doing that. I gain nothing. Politicians gain out of the death of ordinary people. I'm not one of them. I'm not one of them. So I'm not going to push people into death. I'm not going to do it. I'm not. And doing that doesn't mean I'm scared of anything. It simply means I'm thinking. And if I can use less effort in gaining what I want, the better, as opposed to gain Pyrrhic victory. Victory that has cost you so much that it's even useless. That's what they call Pyrrhic victory. You've spent so much. The cost is so steep that even this victory is useless. Why would I go for Pyrrhic victory if I can get victory at a very minimal cost? Why? Isn't that even what war strategies do? We want to minimize cost, but prevail at the end of the day. Come on, Pipita. I take great exception to this tendency to personalize these things. I don't know you, you don't know me. Why would you ask me personal questions as opposed to responding to the things I'm raising? And then we having a discussion on how to take Kenya forward. Why would I think I'm more revolutionary than you? On what basis? You are a revolutionary in your own right, if that's how you characterize yourself. You believe in a better Kenya in your own right. My belief in a better Kenya is not superior to yours. Neither is yours superior to mine or anybody else's. And then we all don't struggle the same way. Liberations have got all forms of struggles, and they all play a role cumulatively. Peter, if there's a problem in Kenya, there's a problem about thinking and argumentation. I think we'll work on that going forward. I yield.
All right. Kibunja.
Yes, Peter, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Peter, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Talk to us.
I would want to Yes, I would like to differ with Weston on some few issues because I don't know why he took Kaluma's serious when he says he was truthful, because when somebody says it's only Luos who have died, I mean, a lot of Luos have died during, I don't know, Kikuyu presidency. I think Mongeke were killed during Kibake, so it's not true. And also, I think when Raila shook hands with Uhuru, were they not aware that there were those deaths? People have died, and they are shaking hands with people who have killed. Now, why is the issue coming up now? It is a diversionary tactic now to take us to tribal politics so that we don't reason, we don't have a collective consciousness. I also don't understand why he's obsessed with Gachagua. Every submission has to involve Gachagua. Gachagua said this, Gachagua said that. I don't know. Gachagua is not in government. All what you are fighting for is not what Gachagua said or statements that he made. I don't think Gachagua's statement is worse than those people who are abducting, killing, looting, shooting people. Those are the people who are even doing more evil than Gachagua's statement. I thought I have never heard him, say Ruto is responsible for this and need to go. Whenever he criticizes government, he goes general that this is how things should work, but not laying squarely blame to the person running the country. He's more of a Gachagua did this, Gachagua did. I don't understand it. Maybe he can clear the air on that. Maybe. Thank you.
Peter, can I clear the air?
Let me just hear what Steve has to say, then I'll come back to you. Kindly just note those questions, because also I see there is a question from 254 native Buchera Sema. What is Western's recommendation? How can Kenya be fixed? He thinks the ballot is a waste and also against the street. So what is his suggestion? Ivory Pianasema, Western has spoken a lot and he's in South Africa. Sisi tuko kwa ground, please. So yes, we will want to hear what you're thinking in a few, but let's listen to Steve Tafmadi and Kalika first. Steve.
Hi, bro. Thank you for the opportunity. Niko kwa barabara, but I will try to be as short as I can. I was listening to my brother there who has spoke about, gave so much long story, long script. And I'm also happy to know that he's talking from South Africa and we are on the ground. We will not be deferred or accept any diversionary at this time and point. We know what we are facing as a nation, and we know our agenda on the street. It is non-negotiable now because everyone is crying here. Whatever the investment you are doing in this country, and if they're making profit to you, then you are lucky. Because for some of us who are also investing in the same country where we are today, we are crying, all of us. People have died, bro. People have died. Forget about any other thing. People have been killed like chicken in this city. You are not safe at home. You are not safe at police station. You are not safe anywhere and in this country. Then you want us to sit down, start thinking, oh, what is better and what is not better, what is right and what is not right. What is right now is to send Ruto home. That is what is important for us. It's not about one term. It is about even quarter term or half term. We are serious and we are focused. Tukutane street wazee, hiyo ndio tunasema. Hakuna kitu kingine hapa ya kudiscuss mambo mingi. Twende street. Whatever we will achieve there, that is what we want. Thank you.
Yeah, asante sana Bwana Steve also for your submission. It's quarter to 8 p.m. East African time. This is Home Run with PP, ladies and gentlemen. We are supported by you, the listener. If you like what you're doing, of course, kuna tip ja line yetu hapo hivi juu. Drop your support to the show as well. Naona Taf Madi ako hapa. Taf Madi Dog, how are you doing? Taf Madi Dog.
Hello. Can you hear me, bro?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Just to say a bit on what Western was saying. Bro, unajua shida ni we die despite the place we are. Like kwao as in kwao the elite, sisi kudedi ni place yoyote, unaona. So like hiyo kusema like sijui tusitokee Stato ama tusitokee wapi, haina difference. Kama like you look at Ojwang, like Ojwang aliendewa kwao Ocha, msee Ocha, Bundu, like ndani huko Ushagondo aliendewa. Aya, huyu mwingine ameuliwa streets, mbele ya makamera, mbele ya nini. Aya, Boniface, the one who was shot, na inasemekana like people wanakatazwa kumwona, so hatujui kama amededi, wanamficha because unatokaje surgery a few hours again, tena inasemekana umerudi tena surgery. Mpaka wazazi like the only people who should know is venye anaendelea, wananyimwa kuona access yake. As of now sijui the update on Boniface, but the last time I checked a few hours ago, hiyo ndo ilikuwa ni story. So you stand to wonder like there is no safe place for us, bro. So the best thing ni tutokee street. People are like some of us wenye tulikuwa last protest ya 2024, bro, we escaped death, na sieti kwa sababu we were special ama nini. Kama ikuwa ijaandikwa hiyo siku, alikuwa ijaandikwa. You look at people like akina Rex inasemekana alikuwa anatoka sijui job, if I'm not wrong, someone can correct me. Yeye alikuwa anatoka sijui job, imagine. So ni kumaanisha hata protest maybe alitokea mchana few times, maybe akiwa break akarudi tena job, jioni akiwa anatoka job ndo ameshutiwa. Na maybe kwa akili yake at that time yeye akukimbia ama kufanya nini, akiwa anajua like the cop will understand, maybe yeye ataona kijana ametoka job and stuff, but ali did. That cop is not even like like kesi yake inazungushwa tu hivi mpaka saa hii. Eliud Lagat ametajwa kwa like the prime suspect wa huyo boys Ojwang. Mpaka saa hii is still a free man. Rumors zinasema Ruto anataka kumtumia in the next term. Unaona, namprepare maybe amweke hiyo place ya Murkomen ama chini yake kiasi, yani amtumie kama mtu wake wa mkono. So like bro, like ukisema tukae chini sijui tufikirie sijui tufanye, like hakuna nani yenye imebakia sasa. Option imebakia ni tutoke street. Unasikia sasa hii tena kuna hizo fununu wanasema sijui MP sijui nini wameanza kusafirisha familia zao and stuff, meaning they have like they are like hey, au mavijana tunaweza wafanya hivi, lakini what if wafaulu kufika itakuwaje? Unaona, so if them they have that what if, that's a plus to us, you know. Again, those news sijui how true they are, but rumors are next to like truth, to the truth. So like you wonder ukianza kusema sasa talks kama hizo bro zinaturudisha nyuma, which mse kama mimi haiwezi nirudisha nyuma. Mimi I had decided, like I've been waiting for a day like this since last protest. You can imagine hizo deaths zote zimefanyika which they were not natural. If we would have liberated this country hiyo time, is it akina Boniface Ojwang maybe hawangekufa venye wamekufa sasa. Unaona, the point is we will die whether we don't go to the streets, whether we go to the street. With a person like Ruto in power, that guy will do any fucking thing to stay in power. Bro, anaweza mkata asubuhi au akina Gachagua au akina nani, like amue tu like, yani kama mbaya, si mtaongea tu, kwani mtafanya nini? Na ukiongea ukionekana wewe pia una mado. Unaona? Aya, that's one point. Kuongezea tu kiasi, I think this is the time to tujue like wase wenye wako na sisi Gen Z, because again hatutaki kutumiwa na any elite, any person mwenye anajifanya sahi yako na sisi. Like tumepanga maandamano like liberation yetu ni 25th. Nani yako na sisi? Like out of akina Rigiji sijui Maraga sijui nani, hiyo mbogi yote nani yako na sisi? And kama uko na sisi kwa mdomo, like kusema uko na sisi ama uko na sisi na actions. someone ani correct kama niko wrong. If Rigiji anaweza toa wasee huko kwao, Kalonzo atoe wasee huko kwao, kila msee atoe aende kwao, like kwa kabila yake, like place yao. Kama ni Rigiji ni Mkikuyu, kwa Kikuyu. Kalonzo aende kwa Wakamba. Juu Malala Cleophas aende huko kwa nani Luya. Hiyo mbogi yote Maraga aende huko kwa Kisii, achukue wa Kisii. Bro, like it's a do or die, you know, it's a do or die, like story ya kusugarcoat sijui nini. Kama uko na sisi, endea watu wa kwenu uko kwenu, basi kama 2 ama 3 zilete hapa Nairobi. Rigiji, endea watu wa kwenu huko, ende ulete basi 2 ama 3 ukuje nazo hapa mjini. Au hiyo mbogi peke yake, those people wenye wanasema wako na Gen Z, the elite, inaweza pia mbogi ya town like inaitwaje motivation, unaona. So like wako na sisi, na hiyo because hawezi niambia bro wase watadedi, like sisi tutadedi na jina ya wase. Unaona venye wase wanatokea street, unaona venye mse kama Rigiji akitokea pale kama hapa, mbogi inamiminika hapo, na wengi ni nani? Ni sisi mayouth. Tunataka kusikia anda kusema nini, but sasa imekuwa game hii Kenya politicians kututumia, na venye tu pia Weston amesema kitu kama hiyo, au say benefit na vifo zetu ama our downfall, unaona. So this time ni like we are supposed, hata tukimove, like hatujafikiria what will happen if we are successful whatever. Tukifika huko state, hiyo tutafikiria tukifika huko venye kuta happen. Of course wanajeshi they will take watachukua uskani, but hizo kuchagua sijui akina nani, hizo tutajua after complete mission 1, unaona. But sasa how are they with us? Like kuna msee mpaka sahi amesema atatujoin streets. Hizo streets tunajoin tukiwa sisi majenzi peke yake, akina Rigiji wakiwa kwa makwao manyumba zao, wanaona ni kupigwa tu na AC wakituangalia. Rigiji kwanza nimeona Rigiji anaenda sijui tour, sijui ni anaenda Mayolo, sijui ni States ama ni Europe, sijui ni wapi, ni kuanzia sijui Julai. So anaenda sahi, like ni vipi, like watakuwa na sisi akina Sifuna, hiyo mbogi mse yoyote yako kwa gava, whether ni Broadways, whether ni ya KK Kenya Kuisha, mse yote mwenye kwa gava mwenye anasema kuna mayouth ama anasikia kilio cha mayouth, akona mpango gani na sisi 25th? Anatusupport aje 25th? Atakuwa na sisi streets? Ni maji atatuletea? Ni bendera atatusambazia? Ni watu watatoa kwao watatuma? Unaona, like again we are supposed to move, tujue tuna move na kina nani. Si ati wase wanatutumia, watu wanatutumia, mwisho wa siku ni wazazi wetu wanalia. Niliangalia Mother Rex akilia kwa news, and I'm like bro, it's over an year. Like sawa, uchungu haishangi, but analia ni kama bro ili happen jana. Look at huyo mama mwingine, sijui mtoto wake anaitwa nani, but he was crying. Anasema kwanza yeye alipigiwa simu, aliongea hadi na prezo ati mama sijui tuchukue kama mtoto wangu sijui bla bla bla, hiyo shit yote yenye alimwambia, enda kumpea hata shilingi. Imagine mimi niliponea bro hiyo maandamano. Sahii ni mimi mngekuwa mnaandika hapa hashtag sijui justice for, you know, justice for tough, unaona. Hiyo ndio ingekuwa sahii ni form. Personally my mom angekuwa sahii amenyure, madhangu sahii angekuwa amedead if I would kitu mbaya ingeniapenia hiyo day, because that guy when his brains was split out pale nje ya parliament, I saw it. That guy Eric akiwa anashutiwa na the soldier, I felt it, you know. Nilikuwa among the 3, 4, 5 people walikuwa pale around. If yeye inge miss either mimi ama mmoja wetu, ingetuwai. So like until when bro? Until when? Tutoe kila kitu kando, tutoe kina Rex, tutoe kina hiyo protest, tutoe kando, tutoe tu kando. Sisi mayouth Ruto ametusaidia aje? Tutoe tu everything yenye wanasema sijui tuna maybe tunalia na hizi vifo, tuweke tu every vifo kando and every casualties yenye imefanyika. Yeye ametufanyia nini si kama wananchi? sisi kama mayouth sana sana. Bro came in, hata sijui mbona namuita bro. Yani Ofala alikuja akavunja ma digital, also walikuwa na ana through digital, through like ilikuwa inaitwaje ile app fulani nimesahau, but also walikuwa na through simu bro. Alikuja akatafuta mavijana wenye wanafanya hizo ma deals, wenye wanazijua zote akazikaa bro. And that the minute you start thinking about this government since walivyoingia mpaka saa hiyo, you are like, oh my fucking goodness. Yani it was just we didn't see it coming, but it was coming bro. These guys, this ni sawa tu bro. Like I can talk here the whole day, wacha tu niachie hapo, maybe later naweza ongea, but mazee kama hujajam mazee, kama hujajam sijui unafanya nini na maisha yako bro. Hiyo tunafaa tutokee, na tunatokea in plan, si tutokea tu ile ati sijui kwa sababu watu wanaenda streets. Tunatokea bro, mimi najua mimi ni wa mtaa fulani, tumetokea vijana 100. Tukirudi jioni, kwanza hata kuna kurudi huko tao, tunatafutana, oya tuko 100 bado, tuko 90, 10 wameenda wapi? Tutafutane. Unaona, tunakaa in like venye tuna move ni kama bro tuko battle war, yani tuko hivi tumeshikana, yani kama ni kurudi nyuma tunarudi nyuma sote. Hakuna sijui watu kusplit, sijui mbogi 10 imeenda huko, tunakaa yani tuna move kama mawe, yani kisongeshwa mbele asonga mbele, ikirudi nyuma tunarudi nyuma hivyo. Na hakuna kurudi mtaa, hakuna kurudi home. Mokoro anakupigia simu, sijui urudi nyumbani, sijui mami niletee food hapa CBD, daddy niletee food hapa CBD, sis niletee food hapa CBD. Hakuna nyumbani narudi. Unaona, like we have to show them like bro, we are serious and aturudi nyuma, because I mean those guys who wenye tunasema sijui watatua sijui nini, I mean at the end of the day ni mabrother zetu, ni masista zetu, ni mamama zetu, ni mababa zetu, ni mababu zetu, ni maankuli zetu. Hawa wenye wana protect rais, hawa wenye wamewekwa sijui walinde sijui nini. I mean those cops have family, and us sisi ndo familia zao. So msee akipiga simu ambie ambie bro yake like, bro mimi niko town. Aya, huyu mwingine apigia sitaki, ambia mimi niko town. Atashoot nini? Na so amevaa mask, so amevaa nini? You can shoot your bro. And itafika tu point waone enyewe hadi wao wanateseka. They can't say it, they can't, maybe hawezi speak. Uliona ule jamaa ali speak last year, alikuwa prison venye alifanyikiwa. Hata sijui kama anaishi bado bro. But I hope anaishi. So like there is a lot. Personally bro, nakuanga nimejam from last year. Yani nakanga tu hivi nafunga macho, nakumbuka tu what happened, I'm like fucking hell, like bro, we need to be on the streets. We need to be on the streets bro, anyway, peace out.
All right, let's hear from El Masai.
Peter and everyone, good evening. I'm so much delighted. This evening. We are discussing the way forward and what is awaiting us come next, on Wednesday. Yeah, so much has been said, and guys, I like the that bile. I like that bitterness. I like that agitation. This is a government that has turned a blind eye to everything. Since June last year, when we are clamoring for some changes in the government, they have done nothing, literally nothing. Kasongo told us that he's going to have a lenient government. He talked about slashing the number of his advisors, but that one turned to be another lie. We have seen him, every day, every morning, every noon, every evening, telling Kenyans a lot of lies. The pledges, 100% of the pledges during his campaign 99.9% he has not delivered. He's now clinging on, I don't know, the likes of Akina Talanta Stadium, Kasarani Stadium, of which we very much know, and we are aware that there is not even a single coin from our government that is coming from there. So things that, you want to leverage on that so that he can gain PR and, political mileage. They are splashing our brains right, left, and center every time we show up on the street. Yet, when we call for accountability, they don't listen. Talk about Rex, talk about that small boy, the 12 years old, the 14 years old boy who was shot over 7 times in Uruguay. And the president lied to the parent. Up to today, tell us of the bitterness in that mother, in that woman. And yet you keep on telling us that we have to give this government time. Time to what? This is a shit government. It's a shithole government. It cannot even deliver on very simple basics. Destroyed education, destroyed, health. It has destroyed our economy. There is nothing that they can present to Kenyans as one of the deliveries of what they have achieved. Complete nonsense. That is why we and I, as a Kenyan, I will be on the street, because it doesn't matter. There is no country that I need to defend here. There is no country that I need to preserve here. We don't have a country. I am struggling to present a meal, a table. I am struggling to take my kids to school. I am struggling even to get fare to commute. And that is to so many Kenyans, so many people out there. Look at the agriculture sector in deplorable state. And yet, these individuals who went or who campaigned on the platform of making sure that they are going to put money in our pocket, they against it, taking even the little that we have. I don't know why we keep on bringing the likes of Kinagachagua here. These are some nonsense, stupid individuals. They have been in the government. I don't know why we are talking about Raila here. We are non-tribe. We actually say that we are tribeless. We say that we are pathless. We say that we are leaderless. We don't want them. Let them join us later, and it's not them who will lead us. They keep on telling us what next. We don't care as Kenyans. We don't care what next. We know that after this regime is out and after we have taken all these politicians home, we have 50 million plus Kenyans who can take charge and who can take over the leadership mantle of this nation. So for those who keep on giving us, or selling us lies, as if we never attended a class, we cannot buy to that. And I'm very happy that the movement, or this pressure is coming from all corners. They have tried to, balkanize the movement into, or to profile the movement into a community, or trying to associate it with some regions, because they want to drive on that. That is how they've been surviving They have always been working on balkanizing, profiling communities so that they can survive politically. But thanks to Kenyans and thanks to Gen Zs, that they don't care where we come from. All what they care is about, are they safe? All what we care is about, am I going to see tomorrow? And when I see tomorrow, will I be able to put me on the table? How will my kids survive? These individuals would always keep on selling fear to us. They have large trunk of land and they fear losing the same. But we are telling them, we don't have any problem with their land as long as they acquired that land genuinely. We don't have any problem with their property as long as they acquired those properties genuinely. All what we have problem with is poor leadership, is corruption, is properties that belongs to people that were fraudulently acquired by these politicians, and they are willing to protect those properties. Those are the problems that, or these are the problems that we have with these politicians. The moment we take over as the people, we will repossess. We will reconstitute. And I know there are people who are fearing that the army will take over. Nothing like that. We are going to have a transition council. Don't come here and sell fear to us. It has never happened, but it can happen. It can happen. We will have a transition council, and from there, we'll be able to reconstitute the IBC. We will reconstitute IPOA. We will reconstitute this EACC, and we are going to abolish some of these positions that are there in the government. The likes of women rep. For what? My foot. She does nothing. Why do we have repetition of representation? There is no need. So we need to abolish some of these positions and probably merge some of these counties. We need to merge them so that we can have a lean government and redirect some of these resources which has always been squandered and mismanaged by some of these leaders into a useful way. For example, supporting our education system and supporting our healthcare system. That is where we need to go. So don't come here to sell us fear and using I don't know, whatever jargon here, huge grammatical terminologies here, telling us or taking us into circles. Oh, we cannot, during the time of who, I don't know, even going to the time of whoever. We are not there as Kenyans. We don't need to be compared with the who. What we know is that those who are there are corrupt. The regime which is now here is doing nothing about it because it has not apprehended any one of them. None of them is in court because of stealing our money. And therefore, what we know is that once the government is constituted, we can be able to hold those who are in government in previous regimes and in this regime accountable. Lakini sio kuja hapa kila wakati kutupea na kutupeleka hivi kwa mzunguko ukituambia mastori hazina maana. So Kenyans, on 25th, we are that bitter and we are going to get to the streets so that we can fight for the justice as we commemorate those who died, and out there they know that we are happily free. We acquired our freedom. That is what the likes of Akina Rex know. That is what those who died knows, that we got liberated on that material day. And that is what we'll continue fighting for. Thank you, Pepita, and good evening.
All right. Thank you for that submission, Bwana El Masai. Nakuona pale ndani. Naona the sun ametoroka. Western, you have been pointed out that hutaki kwenda street, hutaki kwenda kwa institutions.
Peter, I didn't hear what you said, but it's fine. Peter, look here. Look here. Why would I sell anyone fear? Why would I? I mean, fear has never been part of my life. So if you are fearful and you think I'm selling you fear, you're completely mistaken. I don't infuse fear in anyone. I don't do that. For what? After all, courage is the number one virtue. If you're not courageous, you're an immoral person. That's how I put it. Somebody who's not courageous is an immoral person, will sell you out, will cut deals behind your back. They stand for nothing. They change their position depending on who they are meeting. That's immorality. I have no time for that. So this immediate speaker, castings aspersions against my person, I mean, that's parochial. We can do better than that. We can have a conversation without sinking that low. And I'm saying, if we have to fight like this, there's no way we can prevail. I can put it to you and you can quote me. Where we think we can't listen to anyone who differs with us, if they differ, we can insult them and go personal. That's barbaric. There's no other way of describing that. Are you a better Kenyan than I am? Is your appreciation of Kenya better than mine? Who tells you that? Who tells you? This sense of self-righteousness, who gave it to you? Who gave it to you? Why can't we live and let live? Why can't we do it? So we castigating politicians who are completely intolerant, but at the same time we're intolerant on these spaces. How different are we? I did not tell anybody not to go to the streets. It's not my business that you don't understand when people speak. That's not my business. I didn't teach you comprehension. I was not your teacher. So if you choose to misunderstand the things I'm saying, I have no apologies to make. I did not tell anyone not to go to the streets. That reductive inference is yours because you have an agenda you want to pursue. Women, you can pursue that agenda. Very narrow, very parochial, that's not in anybody's interest. Tomorrow I'll be told I'm a Zambian, I'm a Congolese. Propagandists can call you anything. They can even denationalize you. Oh, you're speaking like this because you're in Haiti. You want us to go to the streets, but you're not in Haiti. The things they tell me, Guna. No, you're in Canada, you're not here. Okay, now you're discouraging us from going to the streets because you're I don't know where. Can't we be logical? Can we be logical? Because if somebody's abroad and they're telling you to go to the streets, your riposte will be, no, why are you inciting us? Where are your children? Isn't Miguna ever told that? Where are your children? Why did you bring your children here? You're in Canada. Now you are somewhere else, or you suppose I'm somewhere else. Oh, that's why you're discouraging us. Can't we be logical in how we talk and we approach these issues? So tomorrow you tell me, no, this is a Congolese, this is a Nigerian, because you don't want to listen to what I'm saying. So the best way to go about is just to go personal and discredit me, including my nationality, what, you go tribal, what. So I say these politicians are one and the same thing. And then in the course of that, I mentioned regarding. Somebody just picks regarding. Because you are tribal, that's why you can pick him very fast like that. You have got these tribal antennas in the air. I don't have that. I don't have that. You pick that because that's how you think, that's in your schema. Whereas the previous was that all these politicians are one and the same thing. You pick, I don't know what I mean, in any case, don't you have a problem with the politician who, whenever they take to the public, platform, they talk tribe 24/7? Don't you have a problem with that? You think it's normal? No. Let's even ask you think it's normal for a politician 24/7 mentioning tribes and who does? You think it's normal? So if you think that politics is normal, do you have the range to cast aspersions on my political choices? Do you? In 2013, where were you? If you think I'm holding brief for this government, you are one of the people saying, oh, this is not Uchawi in Maombi. You are one of those people. You are one of those people. when you were saying, no, we can't vote for such characters. You are one. Now, years down the line, you want to advise me on political choices, eh? You want. Where were you in 2017? Who did you vote for? And twice. Who did you vote for? Who did you vote for? You know yourself, but somehow you've woken up. You have got this, epiphany. You know where Kenya should go better than everybody else. Please, give me a break. Give me a break. We've been fighting these things for quite some time. You've just joined us. You don't know. We've been fighting against this thing for quite some time. You've just joined us because perhaps the tribal warlord was ejected from the trough. And therefore, you think you know better about liberation in Kenya. You don't. Just hold your peace and listen. I care about Kenya. And politicians who are dividing the country on ethnic lines are fomenting chaos and problems for the country. Why wouldn't you call them out? If you think it's normal, why wouldn't you call them out? Why should your ethnic group be an issue? Every other time a politician takes to the podium. Why did you choose to be born in your ethnic group? Did you? Did you apply? So why should it be used against you? Who belongs and who doesn't belong? So you can't call out these people. When I call them out, you come here and call me names and you know where people stay. Tomorrow you'll say you know their nationalities. They're not Kenyans. Does it matter where you stay? It's your logic that counts. You may be in Kenya, but you're barbaric. Come on. You're barbaric. You don't understand what's going there. You're part of the problem. But you may be in Haiti, Nicaragua, Nigeria. You understand what's going on in Kenya. And your contribution is no less. What is this notion that if we can't argue with the person, we go personal? What is this? Who taught us that? What is it? And you think I'm going to be scared of you? You think so? I won't be scared of you because I'm not scared of the President William Ruto. How can I be scared of you? If I may use an analogy, if William Ruto is a crocodile, you're like a lizard. I'm not scared of the crocodile, but you expect me to be scared of a lizard. No, you are high on something. You're not normal. I won't be scared of you because I am comfortable in my positions. If you think that you're comfortable in your positions, why do you melt down when somebody questions your positions? Why do you melt down? Why do you melt down? Because you should be comfortable. You know what you're doing. You know where you're going. So even if you cast aspersion, don't say, you're infusing hopelessness in me. No, I'm not scared. Even whatever you're saying, I'm not scared because I know where I'm going. Now, that you're scared, you're melting down. It means you are not sure of where you're going. That's what it means. That's I always say. Truth. It's like a lion. Just let it go. It will take care of itself. If you find yourself so vigorously defending your positions, then your positions are wobbly. They're very weak. They're weak. They can't go far. They're weak. If I'm comfortable with them, I'll say, well, why should I care what you're telling me? I know I've processed what I'm doing. I know where I'm going. Even whatever you say, I'm comfortable. I've reflected on my positions. But you people, you stand for nothing, some of you. That's why you go personal. That's why you cannot withstand dissent. Because you are not comfortable in whatever it is you're doing. So if anybody questions, you think, this person is derailing us. Why should I derail you? If you're sure of what you're doing, why should I derail you? Why should what I say be a problem? If you know what you're doing, if you know where you're going, you can only find it a problem because you don't know what you're doing and you don't know where you're going. Casmuel was deplatformed here and then he proceeded with his life. You are calling him a betrayer. Did he betray you? What did you want him to do? When you deplatform him, what did you want him to dissolve into depression? He proceeded with his life. Now, because you're not sure of what you're doing, you follow him and say he has betrayed you. No, you've thrown this person out. You think he doesn't subscribe to your values. Why are you still following him and calling him names? Why? You just should ignore him. Whatever he does, it's irrelevant to what you're doing. So, because you're not so sure of what you're doing, that's why you follow him, you troll him, whatever he does. Deplatform him and forget about him completely. Then I will believe you. So if you're not so sure of what you're doing, don't imagine that every other person is not so sure of what they are doing. Don't. So don't discredit what I'm doing on the basis of nationality, where I may be, and a lot of propaganda. It does not matter. What matters is your intellectual heft that you're bringing on board, which will help us move forward. If you can't bring that on board, all that you're bringing on board is ethnic politics, Mutietu, Luos were killed, the Somalis were killed. Who wants to get into those statistics? Where will they take you? How many tribes were killed under Uhuru Kenyatta or Moi Kibaki? Those are Kenyans. Those are Kenyans. They deserve justice, and we have not accorded them justice. I'm not interested in an ethnic calibration of suffering. I'm not interested in that. Those are Kenyans. You are interested in that. So if Uhuru Kenyatta killed, I don't know how many people, William Ruto killed, so this one is better. That's primitive. I don't look at things like that. So don't go personal. Stick to issues in question. If you do that, we'll move this country forward. If you go personal, you castigate people, you go, for the man, as opposed to what the man is saying. That's a sign of atavism. It's being completely atavistic. We must call out all these politicians, especially the likes of Kashagwa, who are ever mentioning tribes in Kenya. Tribes. And before you realize that thing is embedded in your psyche. Embedded in your psyche. And that's how you're going to vote. Because that's a narrative that he keeps on regurgitating. That's a narrative. It's going to get embedded in the psyche of a cross-section of Kenyans. And we will not have an election. And we must, Pipita, as I yield, call out ethnic supremacists. Ethnic supremacists. People who think that there's a hierarchy in terms of which tribe is important in Kenya and which one is less important. We must call them out. There's nobody who invited any other person to Kenya. We all have got stakes in this country. So you openly preach ethnic supremacy, but you don't want to be called out. Me, who is calling out ethnic supremacy, you have a problem with me. No, I can't take that convoluted mindset. I will not take it. I can't put it to you. I will not take it. I will not. If people are scared of calling you out, I'll call you out because it's the right thing to do. I'm not going to be complicit in the destruction of Kenya. I will not gain anything. I'll call you out. It will be on record I called you out. When you're preaching machete politics, who is who comes from where, how many people from this ethnic group were murdered, I will call you out. Relentlessly, unapologetically so. So before you take me head on, be sure of your positions. Be sure of your positions. I've been opposed. I've been opposed to some of these people for quite a while. I didn't begin yesterday. You began yesterday, given how rapidly hateful you are toward this government. At some point, it shows it was your government. It's like romance. You are in love, and then this love, it has hit rock bottom. So you hate this person. That's how you're relating to this government. It's like love, romance. I was not infatuated with this government. That's why I can look at them logically. You are infatuated with them. You danced, celebrated them, called people names in their support. Now things have gone south. You want to advise me on my political choices? Oh, give me a break. Please, give me a break. If William Ruto is a crocodile, you're a lizard. If I'm not scared of a crocodile, okay, you can go ahead and think I'm scared of a lizard. I yield, Pipit.
Okay, I see the hand of Kibunja. Kibunja.
Okay, I wanted to. I don't know whether Weston got my question. I am not like going personal. I'm just curious. I was just curious. I didn't pick Gachagua because he mentioned several. He always goes for Gachagua. Even the other day, we were another space. Most of all the spaces, even when he was asking Akina Professor Kibuda Kibwana, it has to be Gachagua. I'm not here to defend Gachagua. I don't like him. I am from Lima, Kenya. It's not my. I'm just curious. Is Gachagua the guess now we have rules? Like we have to be Gachagua said extent worse than those people who are killing, abducting, and stealing and looting and all doing all those manner of things. Gachagua is a madman who need to be ignored. He can say whatever he says. He's going to fade with the time. I don't know whether he was which question he was answering, because when you ask a question, you are told you are barbaric, you are tribal. I'm just scrutinizing. Why do you have to single out Gachagua when you have a bigger fish to roast? That was my point. And the other point was, why would he say Kaluma was right to say a lot of Luos died under Kikuyu presidency, when we know that we also have other tribes who died? And 2018, Raila shook hands with Uhuru, knowing very well that those people died. Why are they bringing the issue now? And they could have brought it then. Yeah. They have been in parliament. They have not been raising it. But now they see collective consciousness of the youth. They have to bring a tribal card. That was my worry. The other issues about barbaric, I don't know, we go tribal. I'm picking my. That's not the question.
Kibuja, a politician who persistently invokes ethnic groups, if not checked, could very easily precipitate genocide, if you don't know that, especially if they have got state power and they think like that. And we don't call out such politicians. They could very easily precipitate genocide, because according to them, an enemy is not anything. An enemy is somebody who does not belong to ethnic group. That's how genocides operate. That's how Adolf Hitler ended up gassing 6 million people in Germany, Europe, if you don't know. So it's not small matter that this politician is not in government. It is the narrative that this politician has made his political ideology, that it's normal to discriminate, balkanize the country along ethnic lines. Well, I am not holding brief for Peter Kaluma. Peter Kaluma, if I understand what he says, is that we've had atrocities in the past in our history. Of course, we don't like history because it has got blood, a lot of skeletons. We don't like it, but we have to confront it. Well, I know people were murdered in Kisumu, massacred in 69. People were massacred in Wajir, 84, Wagala massacre. People have been massacred in Kenya cyclically at every election time since 92 to date. I'm not interested in the ethnicities of those victims. Those are Kenyans. We have not honored them. We have not found justice for them. So it's a history that is still haunting us. If Kaluma was speaking on behalf of a particular ethnic group, I'm saying that's the politics I'm saying is atavistic. It's not going to take us anywhere. But I know that there are things lying in history that we have not resolved. We haven't resolved them. And it's high time we resolve them. And I'm not looking at these people who killed who killed. No president has got a right to kill a Kenyan. I think we must begin from there. Don't come here and say, oh, the Kibaki killed these people, Ruto is killing these people. No president is sworn in to kill Kenyans. Let's begin from there. And we understand that before we proceed. So I'm not comparing atrocities here. Who killed who and who killed more people? No, I'm saying people have been killed, murdered, political assassinations have happened in the past. We must acknowledge that. And we must find justice for the victims so that the atrocities that are happening now are not new. They're building on the atrocities that happened in the past, factually correct. Whether Kaluma is looking at it disjointedly, that's his own take. This was my interpretation. I don't hold brief for him. And I don't like ethnic supremacy. That's the point I'm making. Kivuta, I asked Kivuta because Kivuta is presented as a voice of reason. I was asking him, can he explain why he, on one hand, is this progressive person, but on the other, he hangs around people like Rigathi? Isn't that a valid question? Isn't that a valid question? Like, on what basis are you running with the hare and hunting with the hounds at the same time? On what basis are you doing that? Valid question. Let's see consistency. If you're talking to young people to have morals, values, to have a Kenya that is different from the one that is there now, let's see your lifestyle. Reflect that. Well, he waffled on that question. Didn't he waffle? He waffled. He waffled. I asked him, show me your friends and I'll tell who you are. Isn't that a valid question? That's why I cited that example, because he's presented as different from the rest.
He was being protected by the host.
Pull up. Let's get Luca and Japonji as well, so that we can also get more people, more voice into this. Luca and Japonji. Luca.
Yeah, thanks for the chance. And maybe we happen to misunderstand. In defense of Western, I think it's not only Gashawa you mentioned. Okay, for today you mentioned Gashawa, but a few weeks ago I remember you mentioned this guy Matiang'i, and he explained it very well. And he said there are some guys hanging around Matiang'i, and he mentioned something about Matiang'i. So, but that is not really necessary at this moment. What is necessary for us is that we combine all of our efforts and fight for better governance of this country, better leadership for this country. That is what is best. We have to realize that all of us, even in this space, our aim is for a better Kenya, okay? There is something positive that all of us are bringing into this fight for a better Kenya. So we need to combine our efforts and fight for this better Kenya, whether we are in the country, whether we are outside. And we need to realize that none of us is perfect. Sometimes we make mistakes, but what is good is if we combine all of our efforts and fight for a better country. Thank you, Pipita.
Thank you, Luca Matoke, for that. Japonji.
Hey, Pipi, good evening. Pipi,
Good evening to
you
you,
see,
man.
Pipi, what I'm hearing here is that some people tend or seem to want to justify what is happening now and calling into account why it was not happening before. And I've never understood why, if something was missed because the people intentionally or unintentionally did not fight or fought for it but did not succeed, and the other guys are trying to fight and succeeding. I don't see why there should be, a lot of confusion about it. People, the police killed a lot of people last year during the protests. Before that, actually, even more were killed, if you remember. And even during Kibaki, they were killed. We know that. But should we just now forget about that or mix it with this one? No, we are not. What we are trying to say is very simple. The people who are supposed to fight for justice in terms of demonstration for those people who are affected, they tried or they did not do what was expected as per the standard of today, if you have any standard for that. So why don't we just let people who are going to fight for justice go to the streets, do their thing? And I'm not saying someone is preventing them or stopping them. And let's see what comes out. They have the constitutional right, And from experience, we all know we got this constitution through the streets. We've got a lot of things, progressive constitution, and a lot of things have happened because of going to the streets. So unfortunately, that is one of the ways that this government understands. So again, whoever wants to go to the street, I will support you 100%. Because I'm optimistic, I only choose to pick the glass and say that it is half full, not half empty. Whatever happens tomorrow, it will be a wake-up call. It will, from Wednesday going forward, 25th, that is, whatever happens to the street, it will still be a game changer. These things have happened before. We don't know the scale that is going to happen on, but it will. Whatever happens, positive things are going to come out of it. Whoever looks at it negatively, it's up to them. They have those that it's their own opinion. I respect that. And before I land, people, hapa hivi tunaona Doha kuna Iran na Israel. Before you people forget, naona Iran ishachapa Doha. There are missiles hapo across Doha. Bahrain pia ndio hiyo inachapwa. Missiles ziko kwa unaziona kwa nino. For those big, so it's happening. And we don't know what will, because now I think the next target probably would be to maybe Abu Dhabi. I don't know, because Iran has said that they are hitting each and every base of the US in the Middle East, and those missiles are passing through the residential areas. So actually you can see them. So yeah, that's what's up. That is what's happening here. There's a lot of tension, a lot of drills around. So let's see what happens as we talk about the maandamano. And me, I support 100%, even 1,000%. Let people go to the streets. They know why they're going there. Things have happened. There is always change, and I hope things will become better. Thank you, people.
All right. Thank you, Japonji, for your submission as well. I just wanted to point out that kila mtu ako na sababu yake ya kwenda kwa streets on this auspicious day. Kila mtu ako na sababu yake ya kwenda. As I've always tell people, mimi nimekuwa one of the biggest victims wa hii regime. I have not been employed for the past 2 years. Clean, jobless. Sijui kama mnanielewa. Like I've been unemployed for 2 years. At my prime age. Unajua hizi 20s hapo ndo unafaa kuwa unatafuta pesa. So for me, one of the things that always takes me to the street is the lack of employment. Number 2, kitu ingine inanipeleka kwa streets ni police brutality. We have already proven, not once, not twice, that the police will find you in your house if they want to kill you. So we need to speak up against that. So those are my 2 top things that I'm going out to the streets to protest against on Wednesday. So kila mtu anajua kwa nini anaenda kwenye street. And of course, naona pale Japonji ameinua mkono juu. Japonji.
Bibi, I wanted to ask you, since you graduated, you have to also know that if you use loan, higher education loan board, the interest started the same day you graduated. When I calculate your interest, at some point, I had to go there and ask them, because mimi walianza kucalculate interest as soon as any loan unapewa from first year, wanaanza kucalculate interest. There was problem. Unless you go personally and you keep tab, pipi nakwambia kama ulichukua loan, ile pesa utalipa, if you took like 80K or 70K, you'd be paying almost $500,000 huko mbele. I've seen this. So anyone who is a beneficiary of education loan board, please always check. Wanaanza, hiyo interest wanaanza calculate from when? Is it immediately after they dispense the loan or after you graduate? That is what I wanted to say. Thank you, people.
Yes, so nakwambia kuna mambo mengi yanaendelea kweli kweli. Naona hapa hivi kwenye comment section Kukurukakara anasema as much as everything points to State House, this could be a strategical diversion. The actual targets could be formed organically, they could be pre-planned. I don't think Kenyans are naive to announce they're coming to State House and not have a backup. They learned from the past. You guys remember the way we said we were going to JKIA? Wakatungojea huko vibaya sana na matia gas, sisi tukaenda town. So don't msicheze na sisi. Unajua, I know a lot of state actors wameasainiwa hizi spaces watusikize. Thank you for giving us numbers, by the way. Wanasikiza hapa hivyo waone kama watu watapanga kenye wataenda wafanye. The detractors pia bado wako hapa ndani wenye wameambiwa wacheze psyops, psychological operations, kuingiza watu woga, waambia bana haiwezi. So that is one of the things I've noticed, kwamba watu wengi wanacheza mchezo ya panya na paka hapa ndani. Mmekuja kutusikiliza, mwende kusema vitu zingine. Just to remind you again, pale hivi kwenye tip line tunaenda 00 wadau, going to that tip and support. Alumini wanasema 2027 Gen Z and Millennial Agenda, odious debt, mineral reserve and mapping land question. Any other agenda is neither here nor there. There are real problems ailing Kenya. Register as a voter, apply for ID, maneno mengi ni upuzi. That is Alumini wanafikiria hivyo. Lyson anasema all influencers be very careful not to receive any money from Ruto sympathizers or bloggers tonight or tomorrow. The plan is to get your contacts and target all your contacts and relatives. You get Kenya shillings 527 and expose your loved ones. Haya, endeleeni kufanya hizo makazi za kulipwa na watu wa government hapa hivi. Utakufa vibaya. So I asked Luka Matoke why people are going to the streets. Mimi nimwambia kwa nini inaenda kwa street. Japonji, why would you support going to the street and unajua watu wengi wameleta kwamba the people living abroad are not going to face the bullets and tear gas. So hata mkituambia tuende, why should we listen to you?
Pipi, there's one thing that you need to know, that revolution is not just fought on one front line. Revolution is fought on air, I mean, in the sea, in the land, online, everywhere. So whoever can contribute anyway to the revolution is welcome. Some of us will contribute to those posters in utaona. Kuna watu wanataka maji, there are people who are traveling. So Pipi, revolution is fought as much as you have it in your heart and you know you're doing the right thing and you want to be part of that revolution. Some people will be in Nairobi, but they're not show up, but indirectly they show up. There are people who are in government, they cannot show up, they lose their job. There are people who are actually in the security sector, they can't show up, they can't even recruit or post, but they are with us. So that one I know. So for revolution to succeed, we need each and everyone. We cannot call out people who are not showing physically. This war is broad, and war is war. You fought in every front and use everything that you got to win. So that's how it is. Thank you. Pipi, can you hear me?
Yes,
Pipi,
yes, I can hear you.
Okay, Pipi, and also before I land, Pipi, whatever is taking me to the street might not be the same as yours, but the bottom line is we need good governance. And me, the biggest thing that takes me in the street indirectly is accountability. I'm not asking for money. To hold Uhuru into account and call out the odious debts. Do what we have been asking from day one and what he promised to do. If you a big bit, just do the audit of the odious debts. Let's see exactly how much was borrowed, how much we are using, how much we are, because people, we are tired of paying interest for the loan that we cannot account for. It's as simple as that. And the taxes are being increased because of the odious debts and all that. That is where my problem is. Hapo kwa loans zenye zinalipwa zenye hatujui what they did, and then there is this SGR, we don't know exactly the contract that is out there is not what we want. We want the details, breakdown, how much did we pay, why was it inflated, why did Tanzania get a better SGR for like a quarter the price? You see, these are basic things. I'm not asking for much. I've not even reached the police brutality thing. I've not reached there. So that is where I am, because people, I'm paying tax, because every time I send money and all this, it's being taxed. I pay rent, I do a lot of things there. I have property, I have investment. So we pay tax indirectly. And we are asking for the bare minimum accountability. That's it. Thank you, people.
All right. Thank you, Japonji, for that. Luka Matoke, maybe final words for us tonight.
All I can say is that this government, their arrogance is what really has made us to get to where we are. It's my prayer that they change. If they don't change, these things are going to repeat themselves. This thing might turn out like that Indian farmers' protest, whereby people decided to camp in a place like Uhuru Park, and CNN went behind the scenes, and we saw these guys, they had water, they had clinics, they were cooking, they were doing everything, and they were getting supplies from the countryside. So we might get there. It's very easy for us to get there, because this government have decided not to listen to us, being led by William Ruto. So if you really can listen to us, even now there is a chance of reversing these things so that the country continues on a peaceful path. You said there are people listening in here, and informants of this government. Maybe they can get this message from me that they need to go tell William Ruto to listen to us. That is what is best for our country. Hii maneno ya kupigana that government they go to the left and we also go to the right. It does more harm than good to all of us. So William Ruto, please, wherever you are, listen to us. Thank you, Pipita.
Right. Thank you, Wanaluka Matoke. Kibunja. Thank you, Mushiri, for your tip as well. Kibunja, your final words for tonight.
Just a minute.
All right. Japonji, any parting shot for us tonight?
PP, I always finish by saying this government will keep repeating the same mistakes, and they have dared the Gen Z or the Kenyans long enough. And if there was anything that this government would have learned and corrected, it was last year after the finance bill protests. But did they do anything about it? No, they repeated the same mistakes. So there is no trust, the social trust, there's no trust between the people and the government. It's eroded, it's gone. And I don't think now there will be time to correct that. Whatever happens on Wednesday, it will just show that things have gotten much worse. We all anticipate that things happen peacefully, whatever is going to happen. And people who will be going to the streets, we will be supporting them, and we will always make sure that they're safe and all that. And we also know that the government will be trying to take care of those who are protesting in one way or another. We know they're infiltrators. We know the next 2 or 3 days, the agents will not be sleeping. They'll be in all these places listening, especially these recorded ones. They'll be recording and capturing the beats that they want. And things will happen. We expect that. And that's the good thing about this revolution. People are expecting what they know the government will do based on their history, nothing new. And we also know that there is going to be a lot of distractions between now and Wednesday. First distraction would be the disconnecting X, or they will play around like they did last time. They're going to limit, the bandwidth or whatever what they do there, and you will feel like there's problem with the X in Kenya and all social medias. They have that monopoly, and is expected. That's what I'm telling you, people. It's expected, and I'm sure the organizers of the they're very smart to know that there are other channels, there are VPN, and people are ready for that, So whatever happens, it's for the good of this country. We don't want, there is nothing like anarchy. It's the people who are going to speak. It's a big letter that is being taken to the presidency and to the government, because they have been given more than 7 chances to speak out, to do the right thing, but they're not doing the right thing, people. So that's what I can say. And as you are in this space, also ask yourself what you can do for this country going forward, but not what the country can do for you. That's what you should be asking yourself. Are you a patriot or are you just an observer? Thank you so much, PP, and good night.
All right. Thank you for that, Japonji. Weston, final words. Weston, are you there? Hey, nimeona mwana mpotevu DK Gift kwenye listener panel. Namwona DK Gift pale kwenye listener panel, and it's been a while, bro. I hope you're doing amazing. Karibu sana. So let me see if there is any more comments hapa hivi as we call it tonight. Thank you so much for everybody who has taken part in tonight's conversation. And of course, we are gearing up to that all big day of 25th of June 2025. That is on Wednesday. So nationwide demonstrations are expected. Let's see how it goes. We are very much keen to see what happens on those days. And of course, the police have come out to say they will protect after coming out and saying first that they will not allow any type of demonstrations. So there is that also to contemplate about. And as well, when we look at the demonstrators that are expected on the streets, we also have the goons. I hope this time round the goons will not dare show their face on the streets. And it's, of course, it has started. That is one thing people don't know, that it has already started the way back. That now, instead of just going with the water and flags, then if you are coming to destroy our maandamano, which are peaceful, then chances are we are going to also discipline you on the spot. And I really want to applaud everybody who takes part actively in disciplining goons. Yes, that is the way we need to go. Kwamba kama ni goon akipatikana, deal with him with utmost ruthlessness. Yeah? Yes, na ningependa kuambia kwamba watu nawasikia mnataja Rigathi hapa hivi. I would never dare go to the streets because of Rigathi Gachagua. Let me say it on the show and without a shadow of doubt. I will never go to the street for Rigathi Gachagua. I'd rather go to Lake Magadi and count salt. Mimi niende nipiganie mtu mwenye ana ukabila, watoto wake ndio anaenda kutetea hapo hivi. Ile siku alikuwa na skandali ya neti, uliona Japunji hapo, si ni watoto wake ndio sasa watoto wangu wakapata katenda kadogo hapa, mnawagombanisha. Hizo hoteli kubwa Nyeri zenye wanaona, umeona mtoto mwenye si wake hapo. So me I would not go to the street for Rigathi no matter what. Hiyo nayo acha tu tuambiane tu leo initoke. Siwezi endea mimi hata Kalonzo, hata Matiang'i, hata huyo Maraga mwenye nataka kupea kiti, siwezi endea yeye kwa streets. I can only go for justice, and this is what we are fighting for. Hii tunapigania ni haki na usawa. Japonji.
Pipi, I just wanted to, you just made me remember history. During the Miguna, when Miguna was in the inauguration of Raila, the people's president, that time, Uhuru Kenyatta was advised well. I think he had some good advice. They told him, look, wacha watu wafanye mambo yao. So when the president, why are you scared? And they let Raila, he went ahead. He was inaugurated as the people's president. And hata wakamwabit. I don't know if you remember. There was no chaos. People went there. People were happy. People celebrated. And people went home. I don't know if you understand. Police were not there. They were not said. So what I'm trying to say is sometimes people, these peaceful demonstrations huwa zinaanzishwa na one tear gas. One tear gas break all these peaceful demonstrations. People are peaceful, they're just marching, they just want to do their thing maybe and go home. But once you start triggering them, you imagining, then of course there will be chaos. Huh? So I hope they can learn from that. I know they are listening. They can refer to that clip when Miguna was alikuwa anapisha Raila Odinga that time. As the people's president, there were no police, there was no chaos, no property was destroyed. You can counter check, you can fact check that, and people went home with their president. And that is what we are saying. Let people go to the street, let them do what they want, don't intimidate them, then things will just come back. But if you start beating people, letter goons, then of course there will be anarchy. Thank you, people.
All right, thank you Bwana Japonji. Malia Davis, habari ya saizi?
Nzuri, habari ya jioni.
Niko njema sana. Wacha kabla hata tuende mbali, wacha tusalimie huyu mtoto wetu mpotevu DK Gift. Mambo vipi DK?
Salama sana vipi, ni aje?
Poa bro, karibu.
Asante sana. Good to hear from you. It's been quite very much a minute. Malia, nice to hear from you too. Na kila mtu mwingine. First ngota tu kusalimiana. I just wanted to say hi. It's been a while since I've been on these spaces. But all is well and everything is fine. And Pipi, I'm glad to see you're still here and doing what you do best. And I'm also happy to see HRWP everywhere, whether it's on X or on all the other platforms. I've been seeing you doing your thing. Mr. Sema Mob, kwa wewe in this life everybody has to carry a cross and carry a responsibility. So I will say that to you who is a goon, whether you're here listening or you will listen to this later on, or whoever will come to pay you for your services is the one who's going to forward this message. We understand the times that we are living in, and they are difficult. And it is a difficult time for everybody to find a meal for themselves. And so kama utahitaji kutafuta 1,000 ama 2,000 kwa njia ya wewe kuwa goon, we totally understand. But in the same accordance, you will understand that we too also have a responsibility to whoop your behind and teach you a thing or two when it comes to you not minding your business. And here business being that the rest of us that will be out on the street will be minding our business and fighting for what we know is right. You will be minding our business, which is why we need to teach you a thing or two. So while wewe utakuwa unatafuta hiyo 1,000 ama 2,000, jua ama whether itakuwa ya kununua unga ama itakuwa ya kununua paracetamol, sababu utahitaji one of the two, na ninafikiria the latter ndio utahitaji sana baada ya watu wamemalizana na wewe. Number 2, if you're seated wherever you are, listening and watching everything that is going on in this country right now as we stand, a country where people can be out agitating for the death of one human being, but another different human being decides to cock his gun and serve a bullet to a man who is simply but finding his meal of the day. Please remember that this is the country we live in. So whether you will be in your house or you'll be out in the streets, you will either die of hunger or you will die of a bullet. Either way, in this country, as it stands and as it goes, the only eminent thing that is very clear is that we are all headed to doom if it goes on and it continues as it is. So you choose which doom that you want. Do you want to die in the house hungry and angry because you do not have another coin for your next meal, or out in the streets, or out fighting and chasing after what is actually right for you? Just think about that. Then you can go and have a good night's sleep. People, it was nice to hear from you and happy to hear from everyone. You all have a good night.
All right. Thank you, DK Gitman. Thank you for showing up, man. It's been a minute. We are glad that you're okay. Now, Malia Davis, the mic is yours. Talk to us.
Thank you, Pipita. Pipita, it's very unfortunate when you see some MPs like Kim Kamket now coming to tell us that he's going to bring for us Pokot warriors to come and deal with Gen Z. What now is this country becoming? Because there is a certain illegitimacy that this government has, or this head, let me not even talk of government now, because we are talking about one person. And that illegitimacy, it started from the beginning. You know, the illegitimacy of Y2K, Youth for Kanu, the selling t-shirts for 10,000, the 2007 post-election violence. You know, everything this man touches, even his vice presidency, his deputy presidency, it was just illegitimate. It was full of illegitimacy. And now he's brought this illegitimacy to the point whereby, imagine as a head of government, you can have people who are coming up and saying that they're going to bring, like, what the hell is that now? Is this now Somalia? You know, this country, by the way it's being led by this guy, we are being led like a country which doesn't have a government. You see, like Somalia, you know, Somalia, they have militia. So kuna militia za Burji clan, wengine sijui wa which clan, Al-Shabaab pia ni militia ingine. Imagine you are a head of a government, but that is how low you can stoop. That is just how low you can stoop. To threaten people with Pokot cattle rustlers. who the government is supposed to be dealing with them. Now they have become your protection. Just imagine how low we have sunk, or let me say how low this man has sunk our country. Even this behavior of what happened to this young man, Albert. Now I'm seeing here that the people who are being charged is the OCS and these other so-called the corporal and the other the so-called remandees who are being told they're the ones who killed him. I mean, even that DIG, who I have a feeling that sooner than later he's going to be the IG. Imagine him on that seat of DIG. Una stoop to such levels. Una stoop to such level. When you are such a high level, you know, illegitimacy. These people, they are illegitimate. And that's why you can see how they are behaving. You could see somebody like Uhuru, in spite of the fact that alikuwa na drug addiction issues, but you could see at least there is a way in which he held he had some sense of holding the country in high esteem, you know, not starting to threaten you with Mongiki at now. You guys, if you try to come on the street, I'm going to get, or he gets my Nanjenga to say that we are going to, or a certain MP, you know, any MP who was aligned to him, to start talking about, we are going to bring for you Mongiki. What is have a government? Why do we need, you know, and this is why I'm saying this government is illegitimate and it needs to just go like yesterday. Because hata hao wenyewe hawajielewi. Hiyo hadhi, that dignity of being ahead of a state, hakuna. That's where I mean, things like this can fly, whereby you can get people, you know, some people opening their mouths to talk about goons, talk about goons coming in the city, they start paying homage to City Hall. Hizo ni signs za illegitimacy, lack of legitimacy. And we've seen it there. The people who have legitimacy, you can see them, the way they hold the dignity of those offices they have. Hawa watu wenye tuko nao sasa, they are illegitimate, you know. And you know how a legitimate person behaves? You always feel that you are not even deserving of that seat because you are not. And you even act like you are not deserving. And you do things which are unworthy of that office. And this is why this man has to leave the office, because this country is a country which is held in very high self-esteem. We are looked at by our neighbors in the region as a country which, number one, we have never gone into civil war, which in 2007, the same character almost took us there. Let us not mince the words. He was the one who was responsible. And he's the one who almost took us to the brink of civil war in this country. The closest we have ever come, year 2007, he was the spearheading person. And now this is the same nonsense which he has now brought in now, officially, using his office. We are not going to allow ourselves to be dragged down to become like Somalia, whereby militias are now holding, you know, a leader of a militia is holding a press conference, Kamket, to start threatening citizens of the country who are exercising their constitutional right. Hapa hivi hatuko Pokot. We are not in a bandit zone. We cannot negotiate with terrorists and militias. And so therefore, everyone who is linked to this kind of behavior is unworthy of any office in this country. Our country is highly dignified. Our country is looked upon by other people in the COMESA and the larger region as democratic. Our democratic space had been expanding. Now it is shrinking. It is going on shrinking until now this man wants to take us back to the time of Moi, whereby you could not even whisper something because you are hearing that kuna special branch mwenye anafanya kazi kwa ofisi yako ama kwa shule yenu, college yenu, and then from there you will just disappear and be taken to be a political prisoner without trial in an unknown place. abducted in the middle of nowhere, as if you don't have a government, as if we don't have a judiciary, we don't have channels of even dispute resolution. This is not a mafia state whereby mtu akiandika kitu about wewe kwa gazeti, you go and pick him from his father's house and then you bring him to Nairobi here to start torturing him until he dies. That is not the level, that's not our level as Kenya. That maybe was there time ya Moi, and now this is what we are saying. We don't want to be returned back to that mess, because that is all what was there was just a mess. And the mess doesn't stay the same. The mess becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. And corruption, as we have said, it's like a bottomless pit. It's like a grave. It's never satisfied. So this year, kama munaiba 100 million per month, like DIG was doing, next year mtataka kuiba 200 ama 300. And it's not, this money is not it's not infinite. So as you're continuing to grab and grab and grab, we'll continue sinking. Already we are sinking in so many areas, our education, our health sector. And as time is going on, the problem is becoming bigger because you want more. You want every year to add more, to get more, to steal more. So we are not going to allow that. We are not going to allow for some few characters who are just, even they don't have that dignity of that office. Imposter syndrome. You can just see, somebody who even fits in those shoes. You can see the difference between, like, I'm not saying Uhuru was perfect or what, but you can see the difference. You can see the difference. It's so clear. I'm so sad. And all I'm going to say is that Kenyans, let's come out in large numbers to take back our country from these people who have hijacked us. In fact, I could call them bandits. They have hijacked our economy. They have hijacked our democratic space. They want now to shut us down so that we cannot even, I can see here now, IPOA is talking about 63 deaths, 63 abductions, and 26 missing persons. And it's saying that they are not able to, even after Albert got abducted, they have heard of 20 more deaths under similar circumstances, but the police is not cooperating with them. You see, that is the sign of telling you that our institutions are not working. And why are they not working? Because there are some people behind here who are making the institution like a mafia environment, such that now, let me ask you, if right now as a DIG, you can have guts to get somebody removed from their father's house and brought to you to be killed. What about when you become an IG? What will happen? Tutakuwa tuna operate like mafia. Like if you talk anything about me, I just call, can you bring for me Pipita in my office? Then I shoot you in the head. Even there is not using somebody. I shoot you right there in the head venye tunaonanga kwa Sopranos or the other. We cannot go that way. We cannot go that way, and we're not going to agree to this. And sacrificing some low junior officers here and some remandees, as I can see, those are the people who have been sacrificed now to go for the murder, whereas the real person who has a real motive to kill this young man is being shielded. We are not going to allow for these kinds of impunity. We want our country back, and we're going to take it back on 25th. Thank you very much, Pipita.
Okay, thank you, Malia Davis, for your submission. Nitachukua one final submission kutoka kwa huyu kaka yetu Kisa, alafu tutakuwa tunafunga hivyo. We'll be back here again tomorrow, and also Wednesday we'll be doing a full coverage of that of the maandamano. Yeah, hopefully I'll get myself on the street as well with a camera. Nitakuwa, lakini sasa kuwa na kamera ni tofauti because watu ni majambazi pale saa zingine. But one thing I want to point out is you are the reason why we are here. If you like what you're doing, go into that tip line and support our show. I want to go to Senator, and then we finish. but mine is just to share that kuna watu wanasema kwamba watu wanalipwa na kuna watu ambao wakikuwa na opposing thoughts wanaanza kukuwa kama maadui. It's called democracy for a reason. So let us not just also go around accusing each other and not being able to get the facts right. That is what they want. They want you to turn against each other even before they pay anybody else, so that they pay less people. That is what I would do. I'd first let you attack each other. Oh, melipwa, and then I'll pay the people who actually matter. Ukiona mtu kama guy though, the way he's speaking, you realize there is something wrong with that guy, or he's doing it on purpose. Wait for him. Leo ama kesho, guy though must drop a tweet or a post. Sikujua bana, ni vitu tu ninaona. Senator, talk to us. Na mniwekee tip pale hivi kwenye tip ja line. Thank you. Senator.
Asante Peter. Kuna kitu imekuwa ikinipitia kwa mawazo na nimekuwa nikijaribu kuangalia kwa muda, and then nikasema lazima niongee nitoke. There is this narrative yenye nimekuwa nikisikia pro government, especially wenye walikuwa our fellow colleague kwa upande huu mwingine wa kupigania demokrasia na uongozi bora. Hawa wenye wamekuwa wakisema kwamba wamekuwa out of the government, now they are in government, it is their time to enjoy the government. Peter, kuna maswali nimekuwa nikijiuliza from hapo mbeleni. Historically, wakati President Moi alikuwa kwa power, the same guy alikuwa kwa government. I think sijui alikuwa secretary general wa Moi ama nini there. After hapo tumekuja tukaingia kwa Kibaki era, in which kulikuwa na nusu mkate. That government ilikuwa formed na still they were in government. So imekuja ikakuwa Uhuru Kenyatta, kukakuwa na handshake, they were still in government. Immediately after wamedamp Uhuru Kenyatta, now wako kwa Kasongo mwenye tunataka kufukuza. They're the same people now, they are trying as much as possible ku defend Kasongo. In fact, Pipita ukiangalia, the only ninaweza sema Kasongo is like a patient mwenye ako under intensive care unit, na wenye wamemshikilia ni hao watu wamekuwa wakisema we have been sidelined in all other government, isipokuwa the one yenye tuko nao ya Kasongo. It is the government now, it is our time. So my big question ilikuwa nikijiuliza, we young generation, especially wenye wana follow that route, do we have our minds yenye sisi wenyewe we can ask ourselves questions na tuseme, is this really the right information? Because si kitambo Pipita tumekuwa tukiona handshake, si kitambo kabisa tukiona handshake. Even the President Uhuru Kenyatta akijaribu kumove around with that handshake guy kwa mlima, si kitambo tukiona wakisign an MOU. And then all of a sudden people wanasema we have been outside the government, now it is our time. Now from that day Pipita, when they had this blood-based government, that is where now vijana wanakufa kwa wingi sana. Every time nimekuwa nikiangalia another one, I think sijui ni Kirinyaga or Murang'a, another guy has been killed in a police station, but they cannot talk. The guy is so silent. This is a guy ambaye alikuwa akituita maandamano tunatoka without even thinking. Now the generation Z wamempiga enga, they can do it on their own. Sasa wameshikilia Kasongo, something that this thing kwa imesha kwa the country ingekuwa imesafishwa, now we have uongozi bora. But who is now stumbling block for liberation of this country? Who are these people saying that the people of a certain region, they have been enjoying the government, but we from the other side we have been sidelined. Na historically tumekuwa tukiona from day in day out. It has been written there is no any government ambayo ashawahi kuwa outside the government. So which side nini kind of nini this region imekuwa sidelined in any government. There's nowhere. And I want to appeal to my fellow young people, especially wale wenye bado ni followers wa ule jamaa upande ule mwingine. It is now time to think, criticize every information, because tukiendelea hivi liberation of this country, it will take longer than what we should have expected. So mi vile nasema mambo si kama kawaida, and when tuta keep ku defend because we are following a certain person ambaye tumeona alikuwa anatuambia kwamba he was leading us to Canaan. All of a sudden tumepigwa bautan, tumerudi Misri. It is time now tuweke mambo ya kabila kando. Let us focus with one thing. Number 1, corruption. Number 2, extrajudicial killing. Number 3, constitutionalism. Because there is no way we can see the junior officers wanakuwa sacrificial lamb, and yet the senior person, the person of interest, ana walk scot free. How? Want the country, the kind of a nation in which everybody is equal under the law. Those independent institutions, they work according to the constitution. We don't want this political interference by the executive. We can see how now the parliament is acting. It has just carried a stupid people when every time the president akikohoa wanaitika. Wamesahau kabisa, even wakati you try to raise the issue, utasikia another one anakuambia now it is the time for government, na mkisumbua government iko na the power to deal with you. This is the person mwenye alikuwa elected to represent the people, not executive. But what are they doing? And you know the reason why? Corruption. Corruption, corruption, corruption. Because it is this government ndio imepeana that a leeway in which if you oppose the government, maybe they will unleash DCI. Second, they will attack you through KRA. 4, they will unleash another cocoon called the EACC. This institution was supposed to be independent, but they have been politicized. That is why anybody mwenye ata raise kupinga anything, all those institutions watakuwa directed kwa that particular individual. So some of parliamentarians wameamua to play the executive tune in order kujaribu kujizuia na ile harassment ambayo itatokana na hizi tume ambazo zimetengwa, ambazo zinatakana zikuwe independent. So my appeal ni kwamba we need a country that is fair for all, where the rule of law inakuwa applicable to the entire community. Haitutakuwa na selective justice in which we have the touchable and untouchable. So Pipita, I'm ending my submission, lakini nasema kwamba let's stand for the better. This language ya kusema kwamba it is our time to be in government, a certain community wamekuwa in government, sisi tumekuwa out. It is really a very stupid narrative. Anybody who is learned anaweza follow in that route, because you cannot tell me in 2000 and before 2002 the person alikuwa in Moi government. 2002 kuendelea in Kibaki government, the same, there was a government there. 2007 we had a grand coalition government. 2017 tumekuwa na handshake. Now we have a blood-based government. Which kind of government are we people speaking that tumekuwa outside the government? And yet it is our people wenye tuna support, wenye wamekuwa na support this blood-based government ndio wanauliwa in large numbers. Some like ukipata like this goon Gaucho anasema we should not talk about Ojwang because he does not belong from our community. It is their community to mourn, and we should not teach them on how to mourn. Those statements, we should not follow into those traps ya ku segregate the communities in order for government to use divide and rule tactics to survive. We need to unleash the onslaught, even if at a survive in this 2 years period, but in 2027 onwards, we want to set a record. We want to keep an example so that the next leaders when you come after Kasongo, they will know that when you mess up with Kenyans, there is no escape route. You will face the wrath, you will face the consequences just the way inatakikana. We want to just to use Kasongo as a good example for others. In fact, in a biological class, or we can say in a scientific class, let's mark Kasongo as a specimen X. We are going to carry out our experiment through this specimen, and then for others, they will make observation and finally conclusion. Thank you, Pipita.
All right. Thank you for your submission, Bwana Kisa, and everybody else who found time to talk to us today. We will be back here again tomorrow for State of the Nation conversation. And of course, the High Court has declared the 2.7% housing levy tax as illegal, saying that it amounts to double taxation. So we'll be looking forward to as well following up on that. And we know where it's going to end. Pale Supreme Court. Yes. So let's wait and see. So anyway, that fund has collected 120 billion shillings since inception. So it's good money from taxpayers. My guy DK talks about how money, how land is being stolen right under our noses with the Ponzi scheme of housing. So we are watching it. We are very much keen. Some of these things are the reason why people are going to the streets. Tumechoka kubeba ujinga. Tomorrow we'll be back here again. I don't know if we will not record tomorrow's space so that we can have a much more open conversation. Yes, because I know there are also people being targeted through these spaces. Anyway, asanteni sana kwa kuwa na sisi hapa hivi ndani. Home Run PP is supported by you, the listener. I'll keep on saying that. And it is because we are avoiding to get into the pockets of the wrong people. So we are supported by you, the listener. We are a crowdfunding platform. So if you like what you're doing, go into that tip jar line whenever you can and support the show. Yes, upward. Yes, Sasa, I would like to call it a day. Thank you so much for being here with me on this Monday event edition of Home Run with PP. Till tomorrow, be safe and also be vigilant as we are gearing up for the protest on Wednesday, mother of all protests, as we call it. Be vigilant and also don't now take calls from random people. Yes, I think that's all for now. Have a great night and a great day ahead. Bye bye, guys.